So I've started moving into the new house, and of course that means that I've got a lot of things to do. This is the area in the living room area where I need to mount the TV, and of course when we went to go mount the TV, we knew it was going to be pretty high above the fireplace, so I knew I wanted the motorized mount so that I can pull it down to a more appropriate eye level, so that when we're sitting on the sofa, we're not straining our necks to look at it. I got a lot of questions about this, so I decided it'd be easier to make a quick video about what it is and how we got it installed, rather than sit there and try to answer everybody that hit me up on Facebook or hit me through Facebook Messenger or even on any of my other channels. So I decided to use a quick video to show how it works, how it mounts, what pieces are needed to make this work and mount in here correctly, and what I'm currently using. I already have the TV. It's an older Sharp Aquos TV that I've had for a while. It's a 60-inch. And then when I bought a soundbar with the wireless subwoofer, that is a Polk Signa S2. That's what it is. I already had the PS4, already had the Apple TV, but didn't have a way to mount the PS4 up on the wall or put the controllers up there. That was provided by the person that came in and installed it. That is Ramon from Faithful Installations. I will put his information in this video, and you can contact him. He offers everything you need here. He could even get you the mount. I just happened to get the mount online and then had him install it. But it's a motorized mount. It's the Monoprice commercial full motion mount that they have. It is not a pull-down mount. They have pull-down mounts listed there that are much cheaper, but and they're quick to pull down, but they don't have a motor on them. In my case, I didn't want my family reaching up and grabbing and pulling it down every time and putting it back every time. So I just got the remote unit instead. It comes with this remote right here. And that'll allow you to lower it and to raise it. It does take a lot longer than just reaching up and pulling it down though. And I've noticed it's a little interesting. I have to pretty much double click this and hold it to get it to go down or go up. If you just press it like one time real quick, it just makes a small adjustment, like a little tiny bit of adjustment. So that's kind of something I'm getting used to right now. We just got it in, so obviously I haven't done too much with it. But just to show you how it comes down. Like I said, it takes a little bit of time for it to come down. And of course, it only comes down to a reasonable level. You determine however high you mount it, it determines on how far it's going to come down. For us, we didn't need to come down all the way, but we just needed to come down part of the way. The one thing you can't do is you can't use your fireplace while you're doing that. It would put too much heat on the TV. So that's not recommended. But here it is. It's pretty straightforward. If I had chairs over here, then I can tilt it over to a little bit that direction. Same thing if I had chairs over here and I wanted to tilt it around, move it around. It does go the other way too. I don't know how much I'm going to use that part of it, but it does have it. So that's just the basics of how it comes down. It comes down to this level, and of course, I wanted the sound bar to move with the TV so that it would be whatever range the TV is. Now the brackets don't come with it to mount the sound bar. Those are also a Monoprice. They were fairly inexpensive. I'll put a link to them also in the description and also here in this video in just a second. But the brackets allow you to mount the sound bar below it. There is a gap here. That's because this particular sound bar has buttons on the top, and I wanted to be able to still access them. So we've spaced it down just a little bit just so I could get to them. If I need to, I could always move it up closer to it. I might do that later, just not planning to right now. The other thing that's to point out is, I've got the PS4 back here. Ramon had that bracket, so that allowed us to mount that. So there's actually nothing coming down here to the side. I'm completely wireless in here. So I don't have, I'm running this off the Wi-Fi. It's a smart TV that runs off the Wi-Fi setup. And so, of course, does the Apple TV. That allows me to not have to connect to my cable outlet. So I'm actually not using anything down there. I'm not using wires through the wall other than what was already installed for power up here. So if you're doing this setup, you could just have power up top and you'd be good. Ramon also does that too. So you could easily get him to do that type of setup. The one thing you do have with this remote is there's an eye. We just stuck it on the front right here. You might be able to see it in the video. It's just a little tiny bulb, but it doesn't really show out much. It doesn't show up much there when in the video, I'm sure. But that's for the receiver for the remote. And that's what tells it to go up and down. Overall, the mount is $350 on Monoprice. However, I caught it on sale and it was $275. So you might want to look for a sale. The brackets, if I remember right, were around 25 bucks. They're just like a J shape, pretty simple. You have to have a couple of bolts to be able to mount the soundbar to them. It doesn't come with anything like that, but that was still fairly straightforward. The Monoprice mount uses a VESA mount, so you're pretty much good right there if you have anything that's a VESA mount TV. That's all you have to have. Other than that, it works great. Haven't had a bit of problems with it. It's a little unique to get used to. So that's it. That's it really on the mount. Like I said, it takes a while for it to go up and down. So I'll send it right back up. So if you can deal with the speed with it, then you know it's. Oh, I'll let go of that eye. Sorry. If you can deal with the speed of it, then it's a great unit. If you want something that's more manual, a pull down, that's probably save you a bunch of money and be nice to have. So it's just really up to you what you want. Like I said, I liked using Faithful Installations, and I plan to have Ramon come out to do a TV upstairs for me as well. That one won't be a mount like this. It will just be flush up against the wall as much as possible. Probably a smaller TV just for upstairs room that we have. And then who knows, maybe if I put one in the garage, then I might have that done as well by him. Well, if I have one out there, I definitely will have him do it. But I'm debating on that, whether or not I want to put one up there. But that's pretty much just straightforward on the Monoprice mount. I've had a lot of people message me on Facebook the last few days about the floor. I had the garage floor here completely redone by Garage Floor Coating of Atlanta. As I mentioned, we bought a new house. The concrete was okay. It was decent, but it wasn't anything great. The quality of the concrete wasn't that good. So the stem walls looked pretty rough, and the floor was okay, but it was already getting a couple of hairline cracks before we even closed on the house. So the first thing I wanted to do was tackle that. It's something I've been planning for a while. I knew it wasn't going to be cheap, but I wanted to go ahead and get it done. So I scheduled up. I reached out to a couple of different companies here in Atlanta. One of the ones I reached out to was Garage Floor Coating of Atlanta. They are close to me. They came out right away. They kept following up. Michael First is, I'll put his information in this video. He is their estimator for them. He came out and walked through with me, looked at the options. We came up with using the most common floor that they actually do. In my opinion, that seemed to be the best for me, which is a granite white. It's called granite white. And it has a 50 on the grit side, which is a little rougher, but it'll also work better if I have oil or transmission fluid or something like that on it. It's easy to clean up. It's also anti-skid. So I wanted the anti-skid there, especially going into the winter months. If you do come in with wet tires and it's cold, you know, it's dripping water all over the garage. You know, don't want the wife or kids to slip and fall. My garage is a little bit on the bigger side, as you can probably tell. It's 870 square foot. I want them to go all the way to the driveway, to the edge of the driveway, so it covers everything. And of course, I wanted to do the stem walls. The stem walls on this house are a little bit different than a lot of the ones you're gonna see. The reason why is when they designed the house, the driveway was too steep. It was pretty steep. And being a car guy, I said I wasn't gonna close on the house unless that driveway was closer to level. I also wanted the roof to be a lot higher where I could put a lift in later. That's not what they normally do, but they agreed to do that so that they could get the sale of the house. So they graded just the garage down a couple of feet more, left the rest of the house at the same level that they had planned to do. That allowed me to get a much taller ceiling in here, which allows me to get a 4-post lift in. I've got a couple of locations that I can put a 4-post lift. The main one's going to be over here. I'll show you in a couple of minutes. The other one's right where the camera is right now. I could put a 4-post in either location and then store more cars if I wanted to in here. So that gave me a much bigger stem wall. Of course, that meant that it costs more to do the edging. The floor is $5.50 a square foot. The stem wall runs $6 a square foot. So I had both of them done. I'm glad I had both of them done. I highly recommend go ahead and do your stem wall at the same time. It took it from looking kind of rough, crappy concrete to looking a lot nicer, a lot more professional. That's something I would highly recommend. That's something worth spending money on. I'm going to show you a little bit more of that in just a second and walk around the garage so you can see that. Unfortunately, the lighting in here is not that great. That's the next thing I'm going to tackle. Hopefully, we'll be putting better light in here. And eventually, I want to change these garage doors from being hung low like this to being the high mount, so they go up near the ceiling, and have the garage door motor mounted up on the wall. So that's the next things I want to do to make this a little bit more useful. I'm also planning on putting storage up top there so I can store bins of stuff, you know, Christmas stuff and those type things up high out of the way. As you can tell, this garage is a little bit decent size. This is a 2-car. Right next to it where the camera is here is another 3rd-car garage. And then over here, this particular one is double depth. You'll see that in a second. So it's a tandem, so it can fit 4 cars comfortably without putting a lift in here. It also has that extra area over there. That's where my motorcycle sits, obviously, when I move it back in. Okay, now I'm going to show you a little bit more what I'll have them do. So I'm going to go walk around the entire garage and let you see everything that they did. As you can see, they did a great job. Like I said, this is glacier white, which is what they use these white chips in there as well, as you can see. It's got like a very shiny clear coat on it. That's got a little bit of glitter-like stuff in it, which makes it really pop. It's their most common coating from what I understand, and it really did a lot, especially in the stem walls. These stem walls were pretty rough looking. They weren't even perfectly straight. And they managed to come in and grind them and get them looking pretty decent considering what they had to work with. You know, a lot of the new houses don't seem to have as good a quality built into them, but they really did a good job knocking that out. I did not have them do the steps. They can do the steps. Obviously, I probably should have now that I've seen it, but I didn't have them do the steps at the time. But I haven't even cleaned it up. This is literally the first time I've walked out here on it because I just got it done. And it does take a couple of days for them to do it and a couple of days for it to dry completely. So, as you can see, it's a pretty decent sized garage. You know, 870 square foot is reasonable. And it will fit in several cars. And as you can tell, you know, I have enough room here to put a lift in. And if I rehang the garage door over here, I could put a second lift in for storage. Because even the 3rd-car garage is up that tall. Here's the information for Faithful Installations. I'm going to also put up right after that the information for Garage Floor Coating of Atlanta. If you need either one of them, this is how you'll reach them, and they are excellent at doing their work. Both of them are. And here's the information for Garage Floor Coating of Atlanta.